Well, hello. Okay, let's get this started. Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Okay, today we're going to be talking about leadership styles. Okay, exciting for me. I love leadership. I love talking about the difference of how people think and people's behavior styles and people's leadership styles and people's love languages and just really understanding people and cultures and what's going on in businesses. And so today, that's what our live is all about. Today we're talking about really just delving in and getting to the heart of the issue about how to explore the key strategies to help you, you know, cultivate your distinctive leadership style. How do you know what your leadership style is? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then help you kind of, look at it from that perspective, and then tackle or understand why you're not tackling issues, right? Like it's really creating that power of self awareness, what that is for you, leveraging your strengths. I mean, how important is that? Building your leadership narrative. A lot of times, what happens is some leaders, they just let other people build their narrative, and it's time for you to take the lead on that. And, just sharing some stories and practical tips. So that's what you have today here with me. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kimberly Porkins. I'm the CEO of a private security, private investigations business. I'm in California. And, I've been in business for over 30 years, and I'm really just working doing these lives, these broadcasts, these little hints of what I call my wisdom highlights, because I've earned every gray hair on my head. So I'm just kind of showing you some of the little wisdom that I have. I don't just have skills from knowledge from reading books and everything else. I have practical application, practical things that I have been through, real life experiences that have gotten me, through the 30 years that I'm sharing with you. So I'm so glad that you can join me. If you like something here, please make a comment about it. Tell me, oh, I like that one. Or, just like, oh, I love this one, or I'm going to share this broadcast or something to that effect. And just let me know how I can best support you as I continue to, just give from my heart and share with you all, because that really is what this all is all about for me. So, so let's dig into this today. Okay, this leadership thing. So leadership really is, you have to pay attention. Like I said, it's about self-awareness, knowing who you are, what it is that you want to accomplish, and why is that important for you. And what happens a lot of times is people kind of have what I call the laissez-faire version of leadership. There's four basic leadership styles out there. And, you go and you research leadership styles, and you're going to come up with these four basic ones. And then there's other names for them, and people have created some other things. But, down to the root of it, there's these four basic one. And the first one is autocratic. And somebody's like, well, okay, Kimberly, what does that mean? Well, that means bossy people. No, most of our corporations are, have a autocratic leadership style. They have a vision, they have a goal, they want to move everybody in that direction. They want their sales to get moved into that direction, right? They make the decision of what you're going to do, and then get the people to support and do those things, right? Towards that vision, toward that mission. And it's really about like, here's the goal, and we need to reach it here. What are your strengths and what are your gifts? What are the things that you can bring to the table to make that happen? And that's, for, like I said, very autocratic. Now, if you think about it, if you're not in a corporation, and maybe you're, an entrepreneur, and this is your small business, and you're trying to figure out what your leadership style is. Well, if your leadership style is, I'm kind of a little bossy, and I like to tell people what to do, and I'm doing it out of love, and I'm doing it out of compassion, but that's just more my style, then you're probably in an autocratic leadership style, right? It's really just about, I'll admit it. It's like I want to focus on a goal. Look, when I work with my clients, and they're like, I'm known as the queen of accountability for a reason, because I hold you accountable to what you say it is that you want to do. So that's how I do it. It's like we set a mission, and we go after it, right? So I'm much more autocratic in that realm. Then the next leadership style is democratic. Okay. And I know we hear Republican, Democratic. Well, there's your two in essence, right? But democratic is really, it's about consensus, right? It's about pulling people together so that we find the right thing, the right vision that we want to go after. So, there's participation. We want everybody's support in it. We want everybody to agree upon it. And sometimes that can be a little challenging in businesses. And this is why most businesses are more autocratic, because when there's so many people and so many opinions that have to be considered, as in a democratic space, then a lot of times it holds you back from creating any results because you're too busy working on all of those different opinions, different feedback, different support. How can people support? Will you support? Can you get committed on this? There's a lot of that behind it. And so a lot of times people will see that it can be a challenge based on, that perspective. So that's more democratic, right? It has consensus, it creates participation, it creates support for people to be all involved, and helps to move from there. So the next one is what they call laissez-faire, right? Laissez-faire, like, who cares? It's more like, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Oh, I don't need to worry about money this month. I can make some money next month. I got to make just enough to cover my rent for my business or to pay my bills. But, like, as long as I'm helping somebody, it's okay. And look, there's nothing wrong with a laissez-faire kind of leadership style, unless, of course, you hire people that are autocratic, or you're hiring people that are democratic, and then here you are, laissez-faire, and you're like, well, where's our leadership? Who's going to direct us? Who's telling us? Laissez-faire is great for freelancers, right? Freelancers have more of, okay, I'll take that job when I feel like it. Okay, I can open up some time over here, things like that. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a lifestyle, right? It's a leadership style. And then the fourth one is what we call paternalistic, right? Or transformative. And what that really is, it's very heart driven, and it's rallying around each other, rallying around the cause, the mission, the who. This one is, you're very loyal to a cause, right? A lot of nonprofits are very paternal, right? Like, there's this cause, it's very heart driven. We want to go towards that. And a lot of times I hear, especially in the nonprofit realm, is I'll see, social posts or things like that, is don't donate to these people because, their executive makes X amount of dollars, and the money's supposed to go to, the animals, or the money's supposed to go to the people, or, this is a heart thing. And so only donate to the people who have their hearts on the sleeve and are showing you that all the money is going to that. The challenge there can be that, they're making the money for the stuff, but they're not paying people the wages that they need in order to survive also. It's much more focused on volunteers. And, I don't know about you, but I don't have a whole lot of time to volunteer right now. So it's really hard to move forward in that space if you don't have enough volunteers, because it's very heart driven, very paternal, right? Very motherly, right? And so, very, very maternalistic, very paternal, driven, very transformative. And there's, again, all four of them are great leadership styles in the right space. Okay. So you just have to know what your leadership style is. So that's the first thing. When you go out and you look up leadership styles, I just wanted to share with you what you're going to find out there and help you understand those a little bit so that you know what we're talking about. But I also want to talk about another way. Like, you got to ask yourself, are you, there's leadership styles, and then there's behavior styles. And your behavior style will often show you what kind of leadership style you really are. So if you think about your behavior style, the way I see it is, maybe you're more fast paced, right? You're much more, let's go, let's keep going. Let's, you talk faster than most people. I can talk fast on this. Or maybe you're more moderately paced, and you think a little more as you're talking, versus you just talk and then you think about it, or you just talk and you don't think about it, right? So you're much more moderately paced. You slow down the pace of what you talk, you slow down the pace of what you're reading and how you're communicating with people. And that's wonderful. Just notice when people are talking to you, if they're more moderately paced, then you might want to slow your pace down a little bit to match them, to build trust and to build connection. If somebody is a fast paced person and they're talking at a faster rate, then you might want to pick up your pace so that you can match them if you're trying to build trust with them. So it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It just really is about what is it that you want to accomplish. And if you want to build trust, because we know people only buy with people who they know, like, and trust. Well, how can you build trust pretty quickly? Is to match their pace, right? Match their moderate pace or match their more fast pace space. So, notice that when you're working with leadership and trying to discover what your leadership style is, or how can you connect with people that you don't normally connect with, right? The other thing is, are you more task focused or are you more relationship focused? So people who are much more relationship focused in many cases will, at all costs do everything, whatever we can do to make sure that the relationship stays intact. People who are task focused are more likely to go after the task and not worry about the relationship. Whether they're in relationship with you or somebody else is irrelevant in the fact that this task needs to get done. And so some people are like way extreme on the task focus, and some people are way extreme on the relationship focus. And how can you kind of merge them together and bounce off of them on a more frequent basis so that your leadership style can show up where, yes, I can accomplish these tasks, and yes, I can build relationship too. So you have to be aware of where you are, and that's really what this whole is about, is creating that awareness for yourself so that you can determine how you want to lead your business, how you want to lead your community, how you want to lead your family, right? So you have to decide that. So think about it. Are you more fast-paced or are you more moderately paced? And just know that it can change. You could be at home and be much calmer and be more moderately paced. And then you could be at work where it's a fast paced space and you got to be more fast paced. And so you pick it up there. When you're under stress, where are you most often in that space? Are you more fast paced or are you more moderately paced when you're in stress? Right. So figure that out for you and what it works best for you. Yeah, are you more task focused? Are you more relationship focused? Do you kind of weave the two in and out, right? Like you just weave them in and out. Because the better that you can weave all of it, then the better you can connect with people in the world. So, how about, think about for you, what are the leadership things that works for you? Like, what are your strengths? Do you know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses? A lot of people are so good, especially women. Sorry, ladies. Like we will tell everybody our weaknesses. We know our weaknesses. We know. Oh, I'm flawed here. This is what I get. We know. We can tell everybody what we're really bad at. But can you tell people what you're really good at? That would be empowering. Right? If you could tell people what you're really good at, look, I'm really good at communication, or I'm really good at, standing strong even in adversity. I'm really good at bouncing back from adversity, right? What am I really good at? What are your strengths? If you don't know them, how do you expect anybody else to know them? Right? So you have to know, like, what are your strengths? Are you a strong business person, or is that a weakness right now? And don't feel bad, because we can always fix those weaknesses. We can always improve on our strengths. But I will say this, any strength that's overdone, when you are too far over the edge on that, it becomes a weakness. So be cautious on that. Okay. Because when you know your strength so well that you become arrogant, that now becomes a weakness. Right. So any strength overdone becomes a weakness. There's a little, writer downer. Okay. But understand what your leadership style is. What all the way that I was describing them. Are you more autocratic? Are you more democratic, or are you laissez-faire? Like, who cares? We just go, right? Or are you more, paternalistic and more transformative and more from the heart? Like, what is that? And can you be a combination? Absolutely. Okay, we all should be a combination of all of them, right? So, what are those strengths and weaknesses? And did you know that you can, like, target a skill for you to learn? So, you know how everybody this year, I saw it all over social, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, like people, what's your word for the year? Right? What word are you picking for the year that you're going to step into? That's great. But I choose something different. What skill am I going to learn this year? So for me, I'm going to go, okay, what's the skill I need to learn this year? For me, my skill is to be more charismatic, right? So I gotta learn how to do that this year. I can be friendly and I can connect with people, but I'm not the person everybody wants to be in the room with because I'm just like to the point. So how can I be more charismatic to have people join me? So see, what is that skill set that you need to learn? What is that skill set that you want to learn? Not because you have to, but because in your mind you're like, you know what, that would create a strength for me, right? So target a specific skill that you can learn so that you can grow in your business, so that more people want to be around you. They want to get to know you. They want to have connection with you. They want to buy your products and services, right? And you have to expand your network in order to make that happen. So part of your leadership being, a top leader is leaders have to expand their network. So how are you getting out? What are you doing different? Are you just going to your local events? Are you just doing Zooms because you're an introvert and it's a whole lot less energy draining if you're just on a Zoom, right? Think about what is that for you? Are you getting out and building your network in other places? Are you, answering questions in groups? Are you connecting with people who you haven't connected with before? I get a lot of invitations on LinkedIn to connect. Oh, I saw your post. I saw your post and I just wanted to get to know you. Oh, you know what? LinkedIn recommended that I connect with you and I looked at your profile and it looks like you'd be a great fit. Bye-bye. That's not the kind of connection I'm talking about. I had people on my Facebook who they want to just suddenly be my friend. We don't have any friends in common and they don't know me. And so I'll say, look, I'm not going to approve you as a friend because I don't know you, but I'd like to get to know you. What should I know about you? And you know what? Crickets. I don't get anything. And somebody said, well, isn't part of being your friend on Facebook getting to know you? And I was like, nope. My Facebook is about people I already know, or I have met, or I've connected at some level, either virtually or, in person. Like I met some people online, and it's really cool when I get to see them live. Or I met people live and then I get to connect with them on Facebook. And the next time I see them live and in person at an event, I now have another thing that I can talk to them about. Right. So building your network. Part of that is building your network of people that you connect with, how to create more influence with those people. But building your network is also including how are you creating more people into your contact list so that you can build that network so that you can grow more business, right? So there's two, completely different facets of building that network. But that's what leaders do. They build network, right? They expand the network, they expand their connections. They really do get to know people at a deeper level. And then the other thing that I would say on this is as a leadership, knowing your leadership style and, what do leaders do is leaders take on a leadership role. They don't wait for somebody to ask them to be a leader. You hear about something that's coming up, you hear about things that need to get done, then take the leadership of that. Say, hey, you know what? I'd like to do that. I understand this is what you're looking for. Can I take that? I lead that up for you. If you're on a board, don't just be on a board and sit there. Be on a board and say, how can I help? Oh, I hear you want this. Do you want me to take care of that for you? Right? Just really get involved and really connect. And don't wait for people to give you permission to be a leader. All right? How do you like that one? Right? It's not about that. Take on that leadership role in your job. They're looking for something new, then own that space. Say, hey, I noticed that we're having a bit of a problem over here. Do you mind if I take that on? Look, don't expect you're going to get paid more. Okay, that comes later when they see that. The more initiative that you make, the more integrity that you have, the more of a positive attitude that you have, the more of a inspiring connection where you can say, look, I'll take that on. Let me help you. Okay. What can we do? That's what is going to, you know, show that you are a leader in your current position, that you are a leader in your industry, right? Stop waiting for somebody to pay you for everything, right? I'm sorry, I can't work with you unless you pay. Well, what if you could work with somebody and you make it a big difference and they gave you 3 referrals and those 3 referrals paid way more than that one person ever would? So you got to give back some too, right? And I'm not saying, look, so many women give away their services all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you're a leader and you're a dominant leader and you're somebody of influence, don't be afraid to take somebody under your wing and mentor them. Don't be afraid to take somebody on and say, look, I am the owner of my business and therefore I can, make this change and I can charge you a little bit less on this time, but here's what I would need in return, right? Don't be afraid to do that because that's what leaders do. Leaders take charge, they take control, they look at things from a different perspective that helps uh, you know, create bigger future things down the line, right? So really to understand your leadership is you have to understand, what is your style? How are you around people? What is it that you want to accomplish? And, what skills do you need to bring forward? How can you manage people, right? And guide them and encourage them, right? Towards achieving a common goal or a common vision or a common, thread that we want to have happen, whether that be from the nonprofit or from, a very corporate mindset, right? And your attitude is huge in all of this. Okay. The attitude is how can I advance myself in my business? How can I advance myself in my job? Right? How can I take initiative? How are you thinking critically? Are you listening effectively? Not listening to speak, right? Oh no, let me tell you about how that worked for me. Like, no, are you listening to hear what people are saying so you can truly connect with them? Are you in a space where you can motivate other people, right? Can you be disciplined, right? Are you willing to have continuous learning? Are you learning to delegate, right? Do you know how to delegate? Because that's huge as a leader. So just know you are a leader, whether you like it or not. Somebody's watching you. If you're a parent, you're leading your kids, right? If you're a sibling, you could be leading your siblings. And you could be at the bottom and still lead to the top, all right? If you're in a corporation, you can lead, right? Even no matter what level that you are at. But you have to develop your leadership style and make it to where you're an effective leader no matter what. Ask for ways to get better at it, right? Just stay focused on who you are. If you don't know, they say that saying, if you don't know who you are, how can you expect other people to know who you are? How can you expect people to want to work with somebody they don't know anything about? They don't know who they are. So who are you? Right? What kind of leader are you? Are you a mixed version of all of them? Right? Or are you much more focused in one area? Look at the different areas of your life. Right. I admit I'm very autocratic. I'm very facts driven, right? And that's a huge strength for me. Unless I have somebody who is on my team that's much more relational and much more, wants to connect, then I have to soften who I am to connect with them. I go around in my corporate office and talk to my team and I check in with them. And I stop and make sure that I'm checking in with them in their language, in their style, right? I can maneuver me because I know myself so well and I've learned so much about the other different behavior styles and the other love languages and the other, leadership styles and I've dug deep into learning all of that that I manage that very very well because that's what I choose to do. That's my biggest strength. What's yours? What can you do differently from today that helps to enhance who you are as a leader? Well, I hope today was helpful. I hope that you can take a look at what kind of leader are you? How could you improve on your leadership? What are some things that you could do to be a leader that you haven't done thus far? Maybe there's one thing that you could take on for the rest of this year. Like I said, mine's charisma. Maybe for you, it's delegating. Maybe for you, it's understanding your numbers, right? Maybe for you, it's hearing people better, right? What is that for you? Well, I hope it was helpful. I look forward to visiting with you again next week. Have a wonderful time. If you need anything, go to bealegacy.com and let me know if I can support you. Bye bye.